Imagine the beautiful Roshanak, daughter of a nobleman, finding herself caught in the flow of big events. Alexander the Great came to conquer her homeland, Sogdiana. He saw her, and her life changed in a moment. Her story is a mix of fate and decisions, shaping her place in history. This setting is full of drama, with landscapes and cities providing the stage for this unexpected tale.
Sogdiana was more than just a place for wars and conquests. It was a crossroads where cultures met, mixed, and left their lasting marks. This land echoes with stories from the past, being the heart of rich cultures and diverse people. Curious about this ancient world and its secrets? Let's take a closer look at the wonders of Sogdiana.
The Silk Roads have always been the heartbeat of the world economy, connecting different cultures. These routes made it possible for people and ideas to travel across vast distances. Central Asia, with its key role in this network, became a blending pot of many cultures. This is why it's important to understand how trade shaped history and how places like Sogdiana contributed to this flow of goods and thoughts.
Yes, indeed. And Sogdiana is like a jewel in this setting. It was known for its rich mix of cultures, languages, and beliefs. Rising and falling with the tides of time, many civilizations have left their marks on this colorful region. Understanding the story of Sogdiana helps us see how ancient societies connected with each other long before our modern world. It's fascinating how these ancient trade roads worked.
These roads were not just for trade. They were vital in shaping cultures and spreading ideas. The journey of silk, spices, and other goods also carried stories and customs from one end of Eurasia to the other. Central Asia and Sogdiana were at the heart of these exchanges. They helped build relationships between different peoples, from the Chinese dynasties to the empires of the Mediterranean.
Absolutely. And let's not forget, Sogdiana itself was a diverse tapestry. It became a place where traditions mixed and created something unique. Such cultural exchanges have made Sogdiana remembered as a center of diversity. It was like a living museum of ancient cultures and religions intermingling, all thanks to the vital Silk Roads. Many of today's beliefs and practices in Central Asia trace back to this bustling hub of activity.
As we move further along, let's talk about the beautiful geography of Sogdiana. The region is nestled between the Surdarya and Amu Darya rivers, also known as the Jaxartes and Oxus. These rivers make the land very fertile and green. Imagine valleys so lush and vibrant, they seem to stretch on forever. This natural beauty provided a perfect home for the Sogdian people and helped them to thrive.
Those fertile landscapes weren't the only treasures of Sogdiana. The historic cities of Samarkand and Bukhara tell stories of ancient times. They were not just cities but key points in Sogdiana's role in Eurasian trade. Traders stopped here, connecting the great civilizations of China, India, Persia, and the Mediterranean. You see, Sogdiana wasn't just a place on the map, it was a vibrant heart in the body of the ancient world.
So let's step back in time, way before all the big conquests, to a place called Sarazm. This ancient site in Sogdiana shows us how people lived even before writing. Imagine a busy hub where early humans made a life. They hunted, farmed, and crafted. These folks were some of the first settlers whose ways shaped the future of this region, but much about them is still a mystery.
Yes, it's fascinating how Sarazm connects to deeper roots. Ancient texts like the Zoroastrian Avesta mention Sogdiana as sacred land. They say that Ahura Mazda, the Zoroastrian god, created this area for the Iranian peoples. What's exciting is thinking about how Sogdians are likely ancestors of several groups. Their connections with Persia show a mix of different lineages blending together over time.
Absolutely. Sogdiana was like a melting pot from the very start. The landscape and geography played a big role in this. Being between those two big rivers, the Surdarya and Amu Darya, it was naturally fertile. This allowed early people to grow crops and set up small communities. These communities slowly developed their own unique ways over generations.
And let's not forget, these were not just any old settlements. In some ancient Zoroastrian stories, these lands hold a kind of magic. They say it's where good and strong lands first arose. To imagine that even before history was written down, Sogdiana was kind of special. It's really something. Their early mix of cultures and traditions laid the foundation for the vibrant Sogdian culture we learn about today.
Now let's talk about how Sogdiana found itself under the shadow of Persian power. The Achaemenid Empire, with Cyrus the Great at its helm, stretched far and wide. Sogdia was one of the farthest edges of this empire. While places like Persia grew mighty, Sogdiana had its own tales of strength and struggle. The region was known for its rebellious spirit, often pushing back against the Persians who tried to control it.
Indeed, the Sogdian spirit was not easily broken. Even when Cyrus the Great expanded his empire, securing Sogdiana was not straightforward. The Sogdians had a history of defying larger powers, which often put them in direct conflict with the Persian rulers. But their persistence wasn't just about battles, it was also about keeping their own culture alive. This resilience and unique identity played a big part in shaping the region's story.
A deeper twist came when Alexander the Great set his sights on Sogdiana. Imagine a world where his army faced not just the challenging terrain, but also the fierce resistance of local leaders like the heroic Spitamenes. This Sogdian leader was famed for his battles against the Macedonians. Alexander's journey was filled with sharp turns as he encountered resistance each step of the way, which tested his army unlike ever before.
Yes, Spitamenes was a symbol of resistance, showing that even Alexander's mighty force could be challenged. The Macedonian campaign in Sogdiana became one of grit and determination, both for the conquerors and the defenders. The tale of Spitamenes and his warriors is remembered as a powerful story of how a small force can stand firm against a giant. These events had a lasting impact on the culture and legacy of Sogdiana, reminding us of their strong spirit amid adversity.
Let's dive into the time after Alexander. The region got a new ruler, Seleucus I, who took over from Alexander's empire. He tried to keep peace by making ties with local leaders and families. Seleucus's son, Antiochus, was half Sogdian and became the ruler of Sogdiana. This helped calm tensions because it showed respect for local customs. They hoped this would keep the locals from rebelling, as it tied the region more closely to their new rulers.
Right. This shift laid the groundwork for the Greco-Bactrian kingdom. Diodotos, a former leader under Seleucus, decided to form his own kingdom. This kingdom included Sogdiana and Bactria, and lasted about 100 years. During this time, Persian and Greek influences blended with local culture, creating a rich cultural tapestry. You could say this was a mix of Western and Eastern ways, setting the stage for great things to come.
Exactly. With Diodotos's kingdom, new ideas began to take root. This was a vibrant period for the region, with Sogdiana acting as a bridge between large empires. The meeting of different cultures brought about a burst of activity in the arts and trade. Sogdian towns turned into busy centers. People from Greece, Persia, and from even farther lands were drawn to its markets. The shared governance with Greek and local leaders made this growth and change possible.
And it didn't stop there. The Greco-Bactrian kingdom helped Sogdiana flourish economically and culturally. New artistic styles, ways of living, and understanding the world spread through these lands. It truly was a melting pot of civilizations. Despite being part of larger empires, Sogdiana always kept its own unique character. Its position along key trade routes made it invaluable, and the peace efforts by rulers such as Seleucus ensured that it thrived during this era of Greco-Islamic fusion.
In the next phase of Sogdiana's tale, we meet the Kushan Empire. This empire was founded by a tribe called the Yuezhi. They were nomads who crossed great deserts to build their empire. As they set out for Central Asia, they found their way to Sogdiana, bringing many of their customs along. Their arrival changed Sogdiana in many ways, setting up new rules and ways of life in the area.
Yes, and the Yuezhi's journey to Sogdiana paved the way for the Kangju Confederacy next. This group was a mix of local rulers and had their base in Sogdiana. These leaders helped create new cities, bringing growth to the lands. The Kangju worked under the Kushans but held some level of freedom. Their ways were unique, and they helped the area develop more independence as time passed.
Alongside these changing rulers, the role of the Sogdians in trade grew stronger. By trading goods along the Silk Roads, they became very rich and important. From silk to precious stones, Sogdians moved these across continents, connecting far and wide. This marked the true beginning of their influence during the 4th to 7th centuries CE. Their abilities at trade expanded Sogdiana's reputation greatly.
That's true. And during these centuries, the Sogdians didn't just handle trade. They spread culture and ideas far beyond their borders. Their cities turned into lively centers of commerce and knowledge. Places like Samarkand and Bukhara became known for their beauty and wealth. The Sogdians were key players in exchanging art and wisdom between East and West, and this time was a peak of their cultural and economic growth.
We've traveled through Sogdiana's rich history and witnessed how it became a crucial part of world history. Sogdiana is like a colorful quilt made of culture and trade. From Alexander the Great's time to its role in the Silk Roads, every story adds a unique color to this quilt. It's amazing to see how this region influenced and connected various parts of the ancient world.
If this journey through Sogdiana has intrigued you as much as it has us, we invite you to like and subscribe. We have many more tales like this to share, diving deeper into different chapters of our world's past. So make sure to join us next time as we continue exploring the fascinating tales of history.